Ideal type is another issue which has been discussed by Weber, and this was one of the primary responsibilities of a sociologist to develop the concepts. Now, so that was considered as a tool for understanding the realities. Now, concept is simply a name or a label which has been given to a reality. So, these are created, constructed by the scientists, by the sociologists, by the people who are doing the study. Now, these are constructed in order to communicate, in order to share that reality, the image of that reality with the other people. So it captures the essential features of the reality. So we are trying to give a particular label to the reality, to something which has been found, which has been seen. Might call it a phenomenon, might call it a reality, and that reality is seen, and there is a picture of that reality. In order to communicate about that reality, we try to give a label to that reality. So it might be considered as a mental image of the reality. Call it a creation, mental creation of that reality. And in order to communicate that, we have to give a name or a label. We call it as a concept. So it has nothing to do with the ideals or the normative thing is not there. It is simply a label which has been given to that reality. So we look at the conceptual purity. This mental construct can be found empirically anywhere in reality. So ideal types are heuristic devices just for the sake of understanding a common sense or non-rational kind of approach to understand the reality. But these are useful for doing empirical research because these are part of the language of the researcher for purposes of communication. Now, these concepts could be, let's say, the words or the labels or maybe the signs or symbols. So these are helpful for understanding the various aspects of the reality, of the environment, of the social world in which we live and which we would like to understand. So therefore, what Weber is focusing at is that these ideal types could be the yardsticks for measuring the reality. So ideals may not be actually found in the reality. There could be deviations from that reality. For example, patriotism or nationalism may be a concept, but ideally, what does constitute this nationalism or let's say patriotism, and what is found in reality might be two different things. Ideals are never found in reality. The realities might be closer to the ideals, but the ideals may not be there. Alienation is a concept which portrays some kind of reality, some kind of happening in the society. But that's how we try to see that these concepts could be means for communication, for understanding. And when we look at the reality, these realities might be different, away, deviations from the realities. So what the Weber is focusing at, that these have a function for analysis, for research, where we can make a comparison between reality and the ideal kind of situation. So what could be the similarities or what could be the differences? And then we could also see that if there are deviations, what could be the factors for these particular deviation. So understand the concepts and explain them causally. And if there are differences between the actual situation, the empirical kind of situation, and what ideally it is supposed to be, reasons could be given for these deviations.